Well, we've got the Browning AB3 walnut in 6.5 Creedmoor. Let's take a few spotter shots here at 100 yards and see where we hit on the paper. Well, we're making a lot of smoke behind the target, but I'm not sure where we're at, so let's go take a look. Well, that seems to be about a mile to the right, something like 48 clicks. So we've made our scope adjustment. Let's see if we can get on the paper. Not the cardboard, but the actual target. Alright, that looked like the same hole, but still 6 inches to the right. So this time let's actually try for a legitimate group. Okay. No question about it. Browning has some mighty fine barrels they put on their factory guns. Well, this is the Browning AB3 6.5 Creedmoor in walnut. As far as accuracy goes, there's really not a heck of a lot to complain about. It's shooting right at an inch. I've only tried one type of ammo, which is Hornady full bore, 120 grain GMX bullets. So, no doubt if you try 10 different types of ammo, you'll find something that shoots as good or likely far better. So it's an easy 1-inch gun without much effort. I'm running out of daylight here. I wanted to cover the gun just briefly. Same as the previous AB3, it's essentially an economy version of the X-Bolt. It's not the prettiest Browning. It's got just a standard grade walnut stock. It does have an influx pad. 6.5 Creedmoor is hardly a high recoil cartridge. Really not much going on there. It is easy to shoot. The bolt is smooth. The ejection is good. One thing I do like about Brownings is that when you engage the thumb safety, the bolt's locked. So if you're slinged up, you're going through the brush, or you're crawling around, there's no way you can knock your bolt out of battery. So that's a good thing. Like I said, it's not the prettiest by Browning standards anyway, because the magazine that operates just fine is not flush. It sticks out. And the trigger guard, I'm sad to say, is plastic. It's plastic with a little kind of pathetic molded in Browning buckmark, and the physical trigger itself is also plastic. So you've got a plastic physical trigger and a plastic trigger guard. A couple little things like that tend to cheapen up the gun. Most people that buy Brownings, I think they want something a little bit better than wonderfully adequate. But nevertheless, it's a fine functioning gun. It shoots well. No recoil, as mentioned, good recoil pad. The trigger is pretty good. I don't think that this gun rates favorably with the X-Bolt, which is one of my favorite bolt action rifles. But nevertheless, it is at a lower price point, so you've got to get the money somewhere. And it's pretty obvious where they did. It's a little lower grade of walnut. Not much figure going on. Obviously, the plastic trigger guard, the plastic trigger. But even though the finish is matte on the barrel, the Browning matte is certainly better than a lot of the very, very coarse, rough, sandpapery bluing attempts that you see out there. So, if you want a Browning, but you're on a budget, there's really nothing bad to say about it as far as a hunting rifle. It is a little bit heavier, probably about half a pound compared to an X-Bolt. So it's hard for hunting. You'll never wear one of these out, whether you get one 6.5 Creedmoor, whatever your favorite chambering is. Of course, I like the 270 Winchester, but 6.5 Creedmoor, it's good enough for most everything on hooves in North America. And there are better bullets all the time. This is a 120 grain Hornady full bore, but Hornady also makes 129 grain interlocks, which I've not shot yet. And there are several extended range, even heavier 6.5 Creedmoor loads. One of the hottest cartridges around. So it's hard not to recommend it. Bang for the buck. It's not the best on the marketplace. If you're feeling a bit unflush, you want to go deer hunting, you can do it with the Mossberg Patriot and really several other rifles that all shoot in the neighborhood of an inch, contingent on ammo. But if you want a Browning and you don't want to pop for an X-Bolt, it's not a bad choice. There's nothing wrong with this rifle. Functionally, accuracy-wise, I think it would be far more appealing if they just spent a few extra pesos and tidied up the trigger and the trigger guard, the things that you normally expect with the Browning brand. But other than that, this is the Browning AB3, A-Bolt 3, and just like the previous tested version, it's a good solid gun. There's nothing to complain about as far as extraction, ejection. It's a fine hunting rifle. Nobody will be upset finding one of these under the Christmas tree, that's for sure.